Love you guys. Thank you. We love you too.
Thank you.
So question, I tend to look for cryptos that easily store on my nano ledger for security. Am I then missing out on many good cryptos? Is MetaMask as safe? Okay, very good question. So basically, is MetaMask safe? So, right, and are you missing out good cryptos? So I would say using MetaMask with a hardware wallet is safe. Using MetaMask by itself is not so safe, right? So I use MetaMask. I love it, but I only use it with my hardware wallet, right? So hook up your hardware wallet to MetaMask and then enjoy DeFi, right? But I think you definitely are missing out on projects if you're concerned about MetaMask. I've heard concerns as well, but I would say the stories you hear about people losing money through MetaMask is not really through MetaMask. It's because they were targeted through a phishing attack, meaning that whether some random anonymous person sent them a link with a virus or a link to a scam phishing website that pretended to be MetaMask, that's what you want to avoid, right? Only download MetaMask from the official MetaMask website, meaning that go to Google, go through. Actually, here let me share my desktop because this is, I think, something pretty vital for people in the crypto space. So let me share my full desktop, which I don't usually do. So one plugin I have that I think everybody should have is called SimilarWeb. So if you go here, this shows you the rankings and traffic for websites, but it's also a great way to figure out if a site is legit or not, right? So for example, if we go to, let me just go to MetaMask on Google. Just give me a second here as I type that in. Okay, sorry, I don't want the medium. So let's say we go here, right? So there's metamask.io. Let's say you go to some scam MetaMask. Actually, let me first open this up here. All right, so we have this metamask.io. Then, not sure if there's any other MetaMask, but let's say somebody gets you to go to the wrong MetaMask. That's how they usually get you, right? Because anybody can clone a website and put it on their hacker domain, and you go there, and if you're not using a hardware wallet and you type in your private key, then they get you, right? That's how they typically, people get hacked through fake MetaMask, right? But so let's say we come here, and I don't know if this site is, let's say I don't know if this site is legit or not. Having this plugin will let me know if it's legit, right? Because if I go here and I see, okay, this website gets over 1 million visitors a month, I know it's probably the actual MetaMask website, right? But if you go into a site that you expect to get a ton of traffic, but it's not showing up here, it makes you look at the domain and see if there's maybe an error, right? Because what some sites could do, let me see how this would look, right? So let's say there's a site that's called Meta. Okay, I guess that's not working. But some sites will basically play around with a domain name and trick you, right? So that's one way to protect yourself. One other way to protect yourself is actually I would recommend going to changing your DNS server. It's called Quad9, I believe, DNS, right? So we're now kind of getting techie, but don't worry, we do have a guide we plan to put together for how to protect yourself from a security perspective. But Quad9 is a DNS server, domain name service. So meaning that when you go to the internet, all websites have an IP address. It's basically a phone number, but people don't actually type in that IP address. They type in the website domain like google.com, right? And then that name gets translated to an IP address using whatever DNS server you have. So most people use their ISP, the internet service provider, whether it's Verizon, Comcast, what have you. But some people change it to Google. But I highly recommend changing it to Quad9 because they have very great security and it's free, and they can filter out spam and scams and phishing attacks for you, right? So I think this is something definitely worth looking into It's free to use, backed by, they work with IBM, my former employer. This is highly recommended by lots of security experts I talk to, right? So this can filter out some phishing sites, right? Because they keep track of what's happening on the dark web. And if they come across lots of phishing sites, they will block them for you, right? So highly recommend getting this. Highly recommend even getting, if you want to get super technical, right? Getting a hardware firewall. We're probably getting too technical, right? But some simple ones are even just purely software based, such as Pi-hole. It has a very interesting name, but Pi-hole DNS, for example, right? So this is mainly used for blocking ads, but it can also be used to protect you from different hackers and phishing sites in general, right? But anyway, back to the main question, right? Since I was kind of getting down the rabbit hole of security. If you have good security, and I would say in general, if you have, like, let's say Quad 9 as DNS, and if you're just conscious of what sites you access, such as having a plugin that tells you is this site legit or not based on traffic, and if you only access websites from the official sources, such as, so for example, if you go to MetaMask, only download the extension from here, right, on the site. I would not just go into Google Chrome Store and just search for MetaMask, right? Because let me actually take a look here. They might have lots of, right? So for example here, right? I wouldn't just find it here. I would go to their main site and access that from there, right? Because if we go here and type in MetaMask, let me take a look. Okay, so Google has done a good job of filtering out all the others, right? But in general, MetaMask is safe if you use it with a hardware wallet and you have good security, right? And never put in your private key online or use a hardware wallet. If you do that, you're good to use MetaMask, and you won't be missing out on any of the new coins and DeFi. Bill, anything to add to that?
Sure. So are you missing out if you're not using MetaMask? Yes, because MetaMask is like the gateway to the pioneering second chapter of the crypto revolution. It started in 2017. Now, you just heard Ian, who is obviously a tech savvy guy, who's the point man for all the AI that Token Metrics has. And so he's a good guy. And you just heard how much he knows about technology. So you can just flip it around and imagine how much the bad guys know about technology.
Yeah.
So you do want to have a hardware wallet. You don't want to have all your crypto in one place. Okay. And you want to make sure that you manage risk accordingly. Don't put the rent money in MetaMask anywhere. I know that's so easy to say, but when you're like, oh my God, it's going up and I need a new computer, and that's why we repeat ourselves, not because we want to be annoying, because we know that we want to help you. And the way we do it is by repeating that over and over again.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right. So thank you, Bill. And thank you for the question.